Hi, boss.
Hi.
Welcome to Time the Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about
everything that goes on inside prison, what it really means. What
And
really
time.
Goes in, and time.
it's 11:19.
Which means we have to check out in a little while.
I'm fine with 15 minutes.
That would be the first time ever, but okay. I'll grant you that.
Because you have the gift of gab.
Yeah. And along with you and your intellect and your astuteness, we're able to talk about what really goes on inside of prison. So people aren't saying, well, you know, is this Law and Order shit that I see on TV, or is it really what it is? And it's not anywhere near it, right?
Nope.
At
least not in New York State.
Not in New York State, yeah. Can't speak for Houston, but not in New York State. Beer.
Yeah,
Beer.
I'm getting ready for your deal. There's no deal tonight.
So here's the deal. There's no deal today.
The last episode was fun.
It was different. So
I think we managed to offend every single religion out there.
I think we left out the Amish.
We didn't offend the Amish.
Yeah, and there was
the
a couple
Amish.
of,
Yeah, that's
the
it.
Amish. We left the Amish. We didn't get a hold of the Church of the Latter-day Saint. We did skip some. We'll get them next time.
Scientology.
Yeah, we'll get you fuckers next.
We didn't fuck with Buddhism too much either.
Right,
but who can fuck with Buddhism?
I could.
What's there to fuck with?
Oh, easy, all kinds of shit. They're fucking nasty. They don't wear socks. We could go all over the place.
What
with
are you
that.
talking about?
Just fucking with them. Doesn't have to be true to fuck with them. See?
Are you saying what we said in the last episode wasn't true?
No, I wouldn't say that. No.
It was all opinion anyway.
It was all opinion, right? And that's, I mean, it's like, you know, it's like the counselors inside, right? They can write whatever the fuck they want about you because it's opinion. So it's just opinion. You know?
Tommy was fun.
Tommy is fun. Always has been. It's different for me to talk to Tommy out here, you know, because Tommy's not much different out here than he is on the inside, and people don't realize this, but Tommy is one of the most volatile motherfuckers on the planet. Believe me when I tell you, you know. I mean, he is a touch-off. When he's your friend, he is your best fucking friend, and when he is your enemy, you got problems. You know what I mean? And I've known that guy 20 years, 25 years, and he has not changed. And that's good, and it's sad, you know, because he could go back at any moment, you know, because he's like pouring a glass of gasoline, you know, and just playing with flame around it to see if it's going to go off sometime. He's got a super, you know, you've heard the phrase super short fuse, right? He doesn't have a fuse. He's smoldering at all times. So it's good to talk to him, especially about the stuff we talk to him about, because when he talks, he's telling you what he thinks. He's telling you what he feels and what he believes. You know, he's not making it up to make you feel good. He's not saying things not to hurt your feelings. So, I mean, he means it, and it's based on his education.
It's interesting that you just came across him because you went to the witnesses.
Yeah.
And he is just naturally the perfect friend for you because that's the kind of person you gravitated toward anyway, all the time, like the most violent people in every facility you went to, right?
Right.
So he's like your double entendre, your killing two birds friend. You know?
Two jailbirds, yeah.
Two jailbirds with one stone.
With one stone. That would be the Church of Latter-day Saint with the stones, though.
So we're going to talk about something fun.
Okay, let's do it.
Music.
Oh, man, yeah, okay.
You played a little bit before you went in, right?
Yeah, not a lot, a little bit.
You taught yourself?
Yeah, self-taught, yeah.
So you went to prison. You obviously didn't have an instrument. How did you end up in a band? Your first band, which was, I think, at Auburn, right?
Yeah, when I first got there to Auburn, I didn't have a guitar, but there was guys out in the yard playing guitars and stuff all the time, you know, sitting around in a circle playing guitars and learning and teaching each other and that kind of thing, you know, so I noticed that guys, you know, you could have guitars in prison. I mean, you can't have any fucking thing else, right? And I did have a little experience with a guitar. So I called my sister Brenda, and my brother-in-law Mike played guitar at the time. And I said, you know, I need a guitar. Do you have one? And Mike said, I've got this old one laying around here that I don't play anymore. Do you want it? And I said, yeah. So they sent it to me. That was my first guitar in prison. They sent me Mike's old guitar.
Wow. And then you guys formed a band, or there was already a band and you eventually joined them, or what?
There was always a band doing something, you know, because back in those days there was actual music program in prison. You could actually take it as a program. You could sign up, learn music theory, learn how to play an instrument. It was an actual classroom taught by an actual teacher that was paid by the state that came in every day, and it was a program you had to go to, so.
Wow, so you could do that instead of working in the, with Ronnie DeFeo in the wood place, or you know what I mean? You could do that instead of have a job. You could just learn about music and play music.
You could, yeah. That could be your job, is your program, because they understood that, that's a talent that you could move forward with. If you could sing, then they could teach you how to make that marketable. If you could play an instrument, they could teach you to play better and make that marketable, right? I mean, but then when George Pataki came in and took over as governor, he canceled the programs. He took all the music programs out of the prisons and fired all the teachers. So.
Oh man, when was that? In the 90s?
It was in the 90s, yeah. So Pataki killed the programs. He killed every program.
He fucked up everything, it seems like.
He took the work release away from lifers. He took everything. I mean, he's the guy who started Don't Let Lifers Out, Life Means Life. So he's the guy who started making us get hit 12 and 14 times before we could ever make the board. That's his baby.
That's why he needed to fire people to handle that fucking budget.
Right, that's his baby. So anyway, but back in those days, you could play music. So I gravitated to the yard toward those guys that were playing music, and I would sit out in the yard and play with them and learn things from them, and they would learn things from me. I could play chords, I could play a couple of solos, things like that, but I was just a basic, what we call a campfire strummer,
Mm-hmm.
So I would sit out in the yard and just play, stay high and play for 8-10 hours a day, and it didn't take very long to get pretty good at it, doing that. I mean, it's all you do all day long. It's just play guitar. You're going to get either good or you're just never going to learn it. It's one or the other,
Yeah, so you got into that program?
No.
Yeah.
I did not get into that program because I'm mechanically inclined. I always worked as a mechanic of some kind inside, either an electrician or a plumber or a maintenance man, because that's where the money was. So, but whenever they had festivals and things like that, the guys from the band room would get together and put a band together to play the festivals or play the show, and it got to the point where they always came to me and asked me to play guitar, so I would play all those shows.
How was your first show? Do you remember it?
The first one I was nervous for a little while, but I remember we played, one of the songs we played was Living Color. I can't remember, Cult of Personality.
Oh.
And I had to play that guitar riff. I had to kick that off, so that was really stressful. That's a really hard guitar riff to play. But I did it, and it came off, and the crowd went nuts, so when they did, that was it. I was home free, and I was stuck, you know what I mean? I was hooked, so from that point on, I played all those shows.
And then it felt natural for you to be on stage?
It never felt natural, but once I got over, every time I get on stage, even today, if I had a show to play tonight with Dave, for instance, when I first get up there and start to play, I'm nervous. I have stage fright.
Really?
But, yeah. But as soon as I get those first 2 or 3 notes out, I'm good to go.
What about you when you were the front man in prison your last several years and you got up there and you narrated it and you sang and you played?
Same thing.
Seriously?
Absolutely.
You were such a front man.
Yeah.
You were so good at that.
I'm thinking every front man has stage fright. I don't know if that's true.
Is it a sort of like because I have severe stage fright. If all eyes are on me, I freak out. So is it like that, or is it just, I don't know if they're going to like it or not?
No, it's actually insecurity. The fuck am I doing up here? I don't belong up here. I'm not good enough for this. That's what it is with me, I can't do this,
I guess that's probably my issue too. I don't think about it, but I think I'm going to say something stupid because I do not have the gift of gab. I don't have a way with words.
Yeah.
I always say stupid shit. You're natural.
I kind of learned, if you watch video of me playing like the concert that you filmed, if you watch that video, you'll notice that I move a lot. That's something I've taught myself to do, because when I'm moving, I'm not thinking about what I'm saying. I'm thinking about moving. So I concentrate on moving. And as I move, I'm not thinking about what I'm saying anymore. It's just coming out. I already know what I'm going to say, so I don't have to think about that. I have to think about moving. So my words just flow.
Yeah.
That's my trick.
So from that point on, did you just join every band in every facility that you were in?
No, I didn't want to be in a lot of those bands. I would go listen to them. I'd go see what was going on with them, and if I found one that I thought, that band's pretty good, then, I would ask if I could, sit in. That's how I would get into a band. I'd sit in and play and get invited.
And then at some point you were forming your own bands, right?
Yeah, probably around 1992, 93. From that point forward, I started teaching music theory, and I always just built my own bands.
That was the first music-related class that you taught, is it?
No, the first music theory class that I taught was Clinton. I went to Clinton Correctional Facility, and they had closed the music programs all over the state. Pataki closed all the programs. But all the equipment was still there. You know, the state spent, I don't know how many millions of dollars on band equipment. So the equipment was still there. So as a subcommittee of the Lifers Committee that I was involved with, I asked permission to use the equipment to teach a music theory class at night. And the superintendent thought it was a great idea because he played bass. So he said, oh, that's a great idea. And then he says, you know, so what makes you think you're qualified to teach music theory? And I said, well, why don't I put together a curriculum and I'll send it to you? And he said, do that. So I did, sent it to him. He sent me a note back with an approval letter, said, do it, go down, tell the gym officers, show them this letter, let them know, figure it out. So I went down, made a schedule, and they're based on the officer's schedule, wouldn't be convenient for them, for us to have the room. And I started teaching music theory class. I think Clinton was the first one. So I taught the class, I put a band together. I think we rehearsed about 4 months, and then we did a Christmas show. And we blew them away, you know. From that point on, man, we were golden at Clinton for music.
That's so cool.
And I think over the years, I got a couple of commendation letters. I think you've seen one of them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I had
from a superintendent.
From a superintendent. What was really encouraging to me about that guy is that guy didn't know me. You know, he just came to the shows and seen what I was doing with the classes. So not only did he come on his own time to this show inside the prison to hear us play, but he also brought the superintendent from Gowanda across the street with him to hear this program, to see this program. So the two of them sat there and listened to the whole show. They didn't leave. They stayed there the whole show. When it was done, they came up on stage, shook my hand. The superintendent from Gowanda was a female. She gave me a hug and said, this is phenomenal. I wish you could come across the street and teach this program at my prison. And I said, there's no fucking way I'm going to Gowanda. You know what I mean? That is the beat up capital of the world right there. So there's no way. Yeah. Oh, it was horrible. They closed it, and thank God they did. It was it was a sex offender prison. All the programs and all that. So the cops hated everybody, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, that gave me a lot of encouragement because I had put, I don't know how many years into that band, you know, 5 years, 6 years maybe, building that band, you know, and that band was pretty kick-ass. Not the best band I ever built, but it was a pretty kick-ass band.
And then how did you meet Dave?
I was in a band in Woodburn. Me and a guy named Cowboy. Cowboy was a phenomenal guitar player. This guy could play circles around me. And so it was me, Cowboy, John, who committed suicide, on drums, Ed Shaw, who I want you to meet, on bass. And that was the band, so we didn't really have a singer, you know. Dave came in, Cowboy knew him from another place in another band. Came in and Cowboy said, this guy can sing, let's use him to sing, you know. And I'm like, I don't care, whatever you want to do. I was playing mostly rhythm and fills because Cowboy was a phenomenal guitar player. I just didn't even bother playing solos, you know. The guy is just a monster player. So Dave came in and just started singing, you know. And then Cowboy was a druggie, like the rest of us, but he just never got a handle on it at all. You know, it just took his life over for however many years, and so sad that, you know, he had that gift and couldn't use it because of the fucking dope, you know.
Yeah.
Always in and out of prison for dope, you know. So Dave came in and started singing, and then Cowboy fell off, got knocked off, got in trouble, got shipped out for his drugs. And we need another guitar player. Dave says, I play guitar too. And I'm saying, you play guitar too? Grab your guitar, you know. So Dave started singing and playing guitar, Ed on bass, John McKenzie on drums, and I took over Cowboy's spot.
That must have been fun. How long did that last?
2 or 3 years we played. Me and Dave played together 2 or 3 years there. And then we got voted out. It was funny. The three of us got transferred out within weeks of each other. Me, Ed Shaw, and Dave. And we all ended up in the same place and built a brand new band at Otisville.
That's fucking crazy, that story. I've heard that before. That is so fucking nuts.
They moved me first. They threw me out of Mid-Orange and moved me to Otisville. 2 weeks later, Dave and Shaw both show up at Otisville, so the band's back together. And then I got thrown out of Otisville and sent to another jail and another prison, and it wasn't a couple weeks later, both of those guys show up and the band's back together. So it's just weird. It's like the band was so good, they were saying, hey, send us that band for a little while, will you? There was a lot of politics involved in that band. I kind of had to, you know, bruise a couple of heads to get it going, but what the fuck, it's prison.
At the new facility, you mean?
Yeah, at Otisville. There was a couple of brothers there. You've probably heard Dave talk about Dalton.
Yeah.
Okay, so
brother, like witness brother?
No.
Oh.
They were actual blood brothers.
Oh.
You know, so
two brothers.
yeah, they thought they owned the place. You know, so I had to show them different that they didn't own the place. So
You didn't like Dalton?
I didn't dislike him until he started disrespecting me behind my back. You know. And then I decided, okay, you want to be an enemy, I'm going to show you what an enemy's like. I'm going to show you how I treat my enemies. So.
Wait, I'm just going to play the story real quick because we didn't include it in that. Dave talked about it in his first interview with us.
Okay.
Dalton was messing with your shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to roll it right here.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I didn't meet our friend here until 2001. We were both pretty much aging out of tough guyhood.
Well, yeah, I mean, once in a while someone would push my button.
Oh, yeah, remember Dalton? Oh, Dalton was the best. Unfortunately, Dalton got tuned back in the head a couple years ago. But anyway.
On the inside? On the
no,
outside?
outside. He was messing with the wrong people in Ohio. But anyway, so our friend here, you know, we had the music room in Otisville. And, you know, he got all the amps running, all right? So I guess Dalton had had a habit of taking things apart. Well, he took an amp apart one too many times. And our friend here told him, if you touch anything else, I'm going to punch you dead in your motherfucking face. And I will say it was effective because he never touched anything else after that. You know.
Well, he did do that one other thing after that. He
Oh yeah. There, you put that shit to rest too.
Yeah.
Cancel our fucking call out one more time. One more time. Don't touch no more equipment. Don't take anything else apart. I'm telling you. He didn't do any of that shit ever again.
Him and his brother had killed, I forget who. His brother was a nice guy, still is. Dalton was a little fucking weird, but our buddy here couldn't stand him. And a lot of people couldn't stand him.
Yeah, he was slimy.
Because he did some slimy shit. He got out. He was in Ohio. He was just starting to get a band together. He played Latin jazz. And I guess he went to. They found his body in a park. Somebody just put two in the back of his fucking head. So.
All right.
Yeah, that was Dalton. That was one of the things that I had to do there to put that band together, and that was a really good band too.
So you did all of this stuff while you were also doing your regular program during the day?
Sure. Yeah, I worked all day and then I would do this stuff at night. This was my night stuff because my mind just will not shut off. My whole life, my brain I just can't turn off. So it's part of my issues today, you know, that when I'm alone, I'm all fucked up. You know, why isn't somebody here talking to me? You know, why aren't you talking to me? And
yeah.
That's part of
you
my
and Milo
issues.
have abandoned me. Why did you go to the beach?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah, that's...
Thanks for
it.
saying you're sorry, at
Yeah.
least. I'm going to get over it. So. I'm over it.
Okay, good.
Okay. We're done with that, right?
Yeah, we're done with that, definitely.
I got to get you a fucking 2,000-piece jigsaw puzzle because
You know what?
that is so fun.
You know what? I was thinking about that today. Not a jigsaw puzzle. I don't want a jigsaw puzzle. But when I get my place, I'm going to start building models again. Maybe ship models. Because I'll have a table where I can set it up, because you can't move it when you start, you know what I mean? It's like a puzzle.
Yeah.
Right? Well, right now I don't have any place to build a puzzle.
Yeah.
Unless I built it on the bed and slept on the floor, you know?
Yeah.
So.
How did you end up starting that music program then at your last facility?
I didn't create that program. I just tweaked it. That program was in place when I got there. The equipment was all broken up and it was stuff left over from before the Pataki days, so there was nothing new bought there for years and years and years, 15 years. So Johnny had quit. I didn't know Johnny. But there was a show. They had to play a show in like 3 days. When I showed up, I went to the band room with my guitar and they go, "Oh my God, you play guitar?" And like, yeah, I'm like, "Well, we got a show in 3 days and none of us can play it." And I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" You know, so they had a graduation to play. So I quickly picked out the 4 or 5 best players and put a band together with, 5 or 6 songs so we could play this show, and just started rehearsing it, playing it, and got it together. But then through that, I found out that Johnny, who had been their guitar player, just got fed up with him and quit,
Graduation for what?
GED.
Oh, nice.
So GED graduations.
Cool.
So they'll get them cake and ice cream and hand them their diplomas. They usually give them a gift of a dictionary.
Nice.
And then the band will play for entertainment, So it's pretty cool that they do that, actually. And that's how I first heard about Johnny. So Johnny was in the audience. This one kid wanted to do a Miley Cyrus song that he had sang. And I didn't know it. I'd never heard a Miley Cyrus song. So I had no idea, But Johnny knew it. And so I went and talked to Johnny, and I didn't know him at all. And I said, listen, man, I said, not for nothing. I play guitar, blah, blah, blah. He says, yeah, I've heard about you. The guys are saying you're a good player. And I said, I hear you're a good player too. So why don't we get together in the band room and let's put a band together. And he says, man, I'm tired of working with these guys. They're making no progress. I said, don't worry about that. If they don't make no progress in my band, I'll kick them the fuck out. You have my word. He goes, okay.
Johnny was like, oh,
right.
Good
Johnny
friend
goes,
to have.
Yeah, and he goes, oh, different person here, right? Different kind of guy. I said, but I'm going to ask you to do something for me right now. I said, I want you to come up here and play this Miley Cyrus song because I don't know it. Just play it so the guy can sing it just with you. I said, it'll just be your guitar and him and just play it. And Johnny said, I don't have my guitar. I said, you can play mine. He looked at my guitar and he said, you shitting me? I can play that? I said, yeah, go play that, man. So Johnny played the song for me. He played the Miley Cyrus song and the guy sang it and it came out great. And from that point on, me and Johnny spent every day in the band room.
This is another one we wrote for you. I know you'll like this one.
All right, let's do a sign off.
Okay, thank you for stopping by. Let us know how you thought about, the religious episode.
No, everyone's going to yell at us.
I don't think so. But if you have a debate, if you can prove me wrong, go for it.
Yes.
Go for it.
Introduce
I fucking
introduce
dare you.
him to
Yeah.
religion that is real.
If there is such a thing, I dare you.
But don't try to turn me into a non-atheist.
Right.
Because that's not
Don't
gonna
try
work.
to convince me that there was some motherfucker walking around on the planet without a belly button, because I ain't going for it. Don't do the crime
Don't do it. Yeah.
if you can't do the time. And you can't do the time. There's two kinds of people inside, right? People that do the time and people that...
Have where the time does them.
Correct.
Yes, I did.
Your education is getting really good, You're learning a lot here. Pretty soon you'll be ready for Bedford Hills.
Who would I be on the inside? I've thought about that a million times. I mean, I would like to go find the music room. I would like to go straight. That's what I tell Milo. If you ever go to prison, just go straight to the music room, find your crew. Because that seems like the coolest crowd, right?
Well, I get not really.
The least judgmental crowd, because I've seen your bands before and I've looked up their offenses and they have they don't all have clean records, and you guys all bonded through music and nothing mattered,
Yeah, the talent superseded the attitude, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There were definitely not tough guys in your band. A couple tough guys, a few not tough guys at all.
Do you realize what you just said?
Huh?
You realize what you just said?
What did I say?
Me, murder. Dave, murder. John, murder. Chris, murder. You just said there's no tough guys in the band? I just named the band and they all have homicides. What are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about Ryan,
Okay.
Parole, Mr. Sing Song, Mr. I got a little change in my pocket. That's that song. The guy who sang that song.
Dave. The other Dave.
Dave, okay. These guys are not tough guys at all.
Right.
I wouldn't call Johnny a tough guy.
You got a murder.
So, I could take him.
Okay, you probably could take him, actually, yeah. Yeah, you probably could take Johnny, yeah, because he'd probably just stand there stunned and be like, what'd you hit me for? Yeah, you probably could take Johnny.
But, I mean, it's a totally mixed band of bandits.
Yeah, that's cool.
In your band.
A band of bandits, yeah. Should have called it Band of Bandits.
Wait, we should do a status update.
Well, you're supposed to do that shit before we say
I
goodbye.
love saying that.
All right.
I have to introduce a status update earlier because I always forget later.
Okay. Right now we are in Houston, Texas. I came to see my sister who is ill, so me and P came to see her and see if we could help the family, help a little bit, and maybe bring a little joy into her life. And it's been a wonderful, fantastic trip. We've been here, this is day 4, and it's really good seeing my family for the first time in 42 years. It's been really nice to get out of New York. Oh my God, I feel like the weight's lifted off me. It's crazy how free I feel.
I remember what you said when the airplane lifted off.
I think I said out of New York for the first time in 41 years or something,
Yeah.
didn't I? Yeah. It feels so good to be out of there. I am not looking forward to going back,
You had only been in New York for 3 months when you got arrested, right? Was it 3?
Yeah, it wasn't very long, maybe 3-4 months, yeah, that's it. I wasn't there very long at all.
And why had you moved to New York?
I was working on the railroad. I was working as a diesel/hydraulic mechanic on this ballast cleaning machine. When one night I was in New York, in a bar in this little town, and this girl came and sat beside me, introduced herself, and said hi. You know, and that's kind of how I met her. And a couple of days later, a week later, maybe the train was moving out. We were going to a different state. I think we were going to Texas, actually, was our next stop. And she asked me to stay, to get off the train and stay. So I got off the car, and the rest is history, right?
You came to New York. You stayed in New York for a girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything is that bitch's fault.
Yeah. No, actually not. She's actually was a very wonderful person, actually.
And you guys broke up basically the night that you got arrested.
That day, yeah. That day we broke up. I mean, you know, she pretty much told me to fuck off. By that time, she, you know, figured out what my issues were, and she'd had enough, you know. And so, yeah, it was that day, yeah.
So, how was it going through the airport and going through security and stuff?
Security was, was not good because, you know, it wasn't terrible, but I mean, they did waylay me, right, because of this monitor that I have on me. So they had to check my papers, make sure I had permission to travel. It was kind of funny, you know, I was watching his face as he's reading the paper, because the paper has the crime and everything, my name, my, you know, all my information. So I was kind of watching his face as he traveled across the line that had, you know, it said murder 2nd degree, and I seen his eyes get big, but he handled it perfectly. His demeanor didn't change. It was pretty professional. It was pretty cool.
I feel like he was even a little apologetic, you know. He was like, sorry I have to do this, but, you know,
yeah.
Okay, have a good trip. This won't happen again.
This shouldn't happen on your way back. You know? We'll see, right?
Yeah.
They may do it right here at Dallas, Fort Worth when we get
God.
on. It could happen.
Yeah.
But it's no big deal. I got the paper.
Something will happen because you can't go through a detector without that thing going off, right?
No, and it would be fantastic if they said, no, you're not traveling. I said, oh, fuck it. Okay. I'm not going then. It's not my fault.
You want to stay here.
I just don't want to go back to New York, man. I mean, these 4 days, this has been fucking magical. I don't have a care in the world. I haven't. I just, you know, I don't have a care in the world. I don't have any pressure. None. Zero. You know, I mean, the people who we came to visit, my family, they love me. They're not judgmental toward me. They just treat me like, you know, just family, man. And I fucking love it. So it's real comfortable.
Yeah.
Very comfortable.
They are such good people.
Yeah, they are good people. My brother-in-law is probably one of the most special people on the planet, you know. I really love him. And he's been the same guy since I've met him. And I knew him when he was 16, you know. I mean, him and my sister eloped when he was 17 and she was 15.
Wow.
And they're still together. You know, they were each other's first, and they're still together. Raised 5 kids, you know.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So how was it seeing her?
It was, you know, it was sad to see her in the bed like that and so, you know, so beat up and fucked up. But I'm glad that we came, you know. And without you talking me into it, I wouldn't have come. So you made it possible, obviously. But yeah, I'm glad I came. I was afraid to come. So, I mean, how is it for you? I mean, you've been right here with me the whole time.
I would say heartbreaking, heartwarming, inspiring, just really moving all around.
Because they're nice people.
I wish I had a family like that. Maybe I do.
Maybe you do.
I don't know.
Yeah, you haven't been in contact, so maybe you do. You know, people mellow as they age, you know. Priorities change, right? People mellow. I just, you know, I think, I'm pretty sure, I'm positive that we were definitely a help to them while we were here, you know.
Yeah, you fixed their cars and mowed their lawn and made them dinner, all of that.
Yeah, that's funny, man.
And then you fucking were at her bedside every day.
Yeah.
holding her hands down, but holding her hands. Oh my God, you're fucking Superman.
That's funny, man. Yeah, I didn't even think about those things. Those things I do naturally. You know what I mean? They're just things, man. They're just helpful things, you know. I'd mow your lawn.
You would?
I would.
Thanks.
Yeah, and if you had a car, I'd fix it for you. Yeah. And I've cooked for you before, so, you know.
Why did you say that you were afraid to come here?
I just think because I hadn't seen them in so long and I didn't know what to expect, and it may just be that I just hate change so much, you know. I'm so afraid of change. It's like, no, I'm good where I'm at, you know, I'm good, I don't want to go, I'm fine, you know. I think it's more that than anything, but the more I do, the easier it is for me to do things. I mean, just think about it. Months ago, I couldn't leave the fucking room, right? So here I'm sitting in fucking Houston.
It's another one we wrote for you.
So that's the deal, you know, we're in Houston and seeing my family, and we're having a great time. We're flying back today, so I'm resting my arms so they don't get tired. Because I have to fly back to New York. I've been telling that joke since we got on the plane and nobody laughs at it. It doesn't fucking work. I'm going to keep trying though. So eventually, maybe next year sometime, if I do it every day, someone will laugh at it and I can stop.
Maybe if you wait 100 years
Yeah.
for the human psyche to recycle,
Yeah.
then maybe simplicity will be super fucking funny
Yeah.
when everything is dark and fucked, right?
Okay.
Maybe that joke will be a total delight at some point.
Well, okay, but I'm not going to wait. Maybe somebody will just send me in a ha-ha, you know, send in ha-ha-ha. Boss, now shut the fuck up, and I can stop then. But until then, I'm just going to keep asking this joke every day. I'm going to tell it every fucking day till someone laughs. I'm going to do it. I just flew in from Dallas, and man, my arm's tired. Like that, you know. What do you think? No?
Yes, try
Okay,
it.
good.
Try it with a 2-year-old.
I'm going to do it to you every day.
I'm not gonna say ha-ha.
Well, you're going to get it every day then. That's it. I'll break you down, man. I'll wear you down.
So, okay, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Sayonara, sucker, and
No.
don't do the time.
No. Sayonara, motherfucker. Sayonara, motherfucker.
Sayonara, motherfucker.
Perfect.
Okay.
Can't tell me how I'm begging for my milk, but I know if I feed them, I have to lay low myself.
And I met him through music because I went to go to audition for their band. And I auditioned and they never called me back. But so it was shortly thereafter we just took over the band anyway. And
I heard you took it over with force.
I always take things over with force. No. The thing is this, I mean, music was one of the few things I had while I was in it that kept my sanity. You know, I mean, it was a way to, you know, not be in prison for a while.
Tired of this nasty, funky, nasty world. Have the children take
With the flying V, who was that guy, Chris?
Chris, yeah, oh my God.
We tell them stupid paratrooper stories or whatever the fuck he was in the army, whatever the fuck it was.
I think he was a cook.
He would tell these stories, and he couldn't keep no fucking time. Second verse comes in, you're all over the place. That one song we were trying to play, like, dude, you know, you have to count. There's some counting going
Couldn't count.
on.
Fucker couldn't count.
He couldn't count for shit. No part of his body moved.
How many fucking guys did I fire because they couldn't count?
A lot. Larry Brown. How many times did we fire Larry Brown?
You kept bringing them back, asshole.
It was fun.
Beer. That's what we have, beer.
Lady beer.
Lady beer, lady beer. I wish I'd have thought to said that Dave was drinking a fucking lady beer when we were doing the podcast. I would have definitely said it. And Dave, big Dave, huge mountain Dave, is drinking lady beer. You bitch.
Can't believe that I'm that same guy that